name is Tonya Savice. I was in the United States Air Force. I was a bioenvironmental engineering technician, industrial hygienist, and I served in Hawaii, Mississippi, New Jersey, England, and Texas. That's it. This is the first towel piece that I did. And it says, "We all bleed red." Now, the purpose behind this piece, when I did this piece, I was asked to do a piece for an art show, and I was kind of hesitant because I'm new to this. I just started doing this in August of 2019. So I was asked to do something that meant something to me. And the first thing that came to my mind is being a female veteran. Unfortunately, the healthcare system is not the same for male and female vets. When I got out, I was in Georgia, and I would attend the Atlanta VA in Georgia. And unfortunately, it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare to the point that I just refused to go get treatment. Unfortunately, I had 3 misdiagnoses in the military that caused me to have a lot of medical issues, and getting that health care after the fact was extremely hard. So when I did this piece, it was based on that. You would notice in the piece, you saw the slits in my arm, and I have a heart shaped like an American flag. And the meaning was, we all raised our hand saying that we would serve in the armed forces. So why can't we all get the same treatment when it comes to health care once we get out? There were things that you promised us. And unfortunately, I went in 100% and I didn't come out 100%. So all I was asking is that you just give me the treatment based upon the things that happened to me while I was in the service. And unfortunately, that wasn't the case. So, I bleed just like you bleed. So why can't I have the same treatment? And that was the meaning behind my piece. I am in love with the La Jolla VA because I expressed my concerns and I expressed my hesitation actually about going to the VA again. And they say, well, this is going to stop here. We're going to make sure you get the treatment that you deserve and that you earned. And I must say, yes, people get tired of me talking about how good the La Jolla VA is. When people complain, I was like, you have nothing to complain about. This VA is good. So yes, sir. Yeah, I have a problem. I contact my doctor to make sure things get taken care of. Yes, I'm in love with the La Jolla VA. Now, this piece has to do, of course, with the cross and roses. There are 3 roses. Now, the purpose of the cross was because that's what continuously gave me hope. That, even though through the struggle of all my medical issues, my hope was in the cross. And what I like about the roses is, even though the roses have thorns, sometimes you have to go through those thorny areas in order to experience the beauty of a rose. And that's why I love roses. Sometimes we just don't take time to smell the roses. But in the process of smelling the roses, if you go to pick the rose, you might get stung by a thorn. And that's okay, because it's a process. And the healing is a process. And I said I wasn't going to get emotional, and I'm going to try not to get emotional. But the vet art has been a lifesaver for me. Because when you're dealing day in and day out with chronic pain, and you have no place to go, it's hard. The VA have programs, but unfortunately, once you reach that criteria of the 6 weeks or the 8 weeks or the 12 weeks, you have to leave so you can make room for another vet. So what do we do in the meantime? That was always my concern. Okay, you opening up these wounds. Now, what do I do in the meantime? So I found out about vet art through the VA recreational program with Ellen, and I've been in love with it ever since. This place has been a lifesaver for me. It's a place for me to just come out and I could be myself, and I could take out any type of frustrations, or sometimes I don't have frustrations, just to be able to have that peace and come and just work on whatever I want to work on and just express myself through art. You have a design, like with the first piece, that was actually my hand. I took a picture, I had someone take a picture of my hand, and I blew it up to 8 by 10. With the flag, I blew it up to 8 by 10, and then you blow the picture up as large or as small as you want your tile piece to be. And then you roll out your clay, and you put your piece on the clay and basically just trace it out. So I take the picture and I just trace it out, all the carvings that I would want in the art. I put that in. If there's anything I want to add later, I put that in. As much detail as you want to put in or take out. Once that's done, then you have to take the time to make the carvings into the clay. You make the carvings into the clay, how deep you want it, because it's going to be grouted. So you make the carvings into the clay, how deep you may want the imprint to be. Whether or not you want to give it that 3D effect, which is what I've been learning, how to do 3D. That's amazing. I'm going to have some good stuff to show later on. I'm excited about that. So you just do the carvings. And after that's done, of course, there's a drying process. And then once the drying process is done and you finish all the carving, then you have to take your piece and you're going to cut out your piece, how many tile pieces you want. I mean, you could have 6 pieces, or you could just have a small 5 by 7 and not cut it out, or however large you may want the piece. Then you put the tile design in it and actually cut it out. So when you go to put the piece together on the back of board, it's going to be like a puzzle, like you putting the puzzle together. So you're actually putting the puzzle together based upon how you cut it out. Then you go through the process of, painting and grouting and getting it fired. So it's, yeah, when I first heard of mosaic tile, I was like, oh, okay, so we got this tile and then I just put it together to make a picture. It's like, no, that's not how it works. So it was definitely a learning process, and I enjoyed the process. Someone had told me that they liked my cross piece with the roses, and they asked me if I could do it in the color, because you could do it in whatever color or background you want. So I told them I'll start working on maybe a 5 by 7 or a 3 by 5, because they don't really want it big. They want a small piece. So maybe see the cross. There's hope for me in the future. I might become an artist after all. I want to say, if there's any veterans out there, look up Vet Art. Vet Art is on Facebook. It's in Vista. And tell your friends about it. I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that I came here for myself and I saw how beneficial this is to my mental health, come. I recommend anyone come. People don't talk a lot about depression and PTSD, but it's real, especially now with the COVID situation happening, and you used to being in the house by yourself. It's hard and it's challenging. So soon as, Vet Art got the okay to be able to let a few people come back in, of course, staying within the guidelines of staying 6 feet, keeping things sanitized, keeping our mask on, they opened up the doors for us. And that was a huge blessing, because being at home 24/7 by myself, when my grandkids is around the corner and I can't go see them, has been extremely hard. But even before they opened up the doors, they provided kits for us so we can go work on stuff at home. So vetart.org, I recommend. Come to Vista, come support Vet Art. Vet Art is for us. It's for us veterans. It's for us military and families. So come and enjoy it. You won't be disappointed. I'm not disappointed.